How does one become one of the most popular figures absolutely overnight? We're going to talk about a bizarre saga of a man named Mr. Corey Harris. Mr. Harris is the man who turned a viral court hearing into a viral sensation. And guess what? Corey still managed to be utterly clueless about it all. I want you crime thinkers, after you've listened to the video, to get down in the comments. Tell me what you think about the judge revoking his bond and automatically sending him to jail after he shows up to his Zoom court hearing driving because of a suspended license. And if you don't agree with the judge, tell me why you agree with Corey Harris's position. When asked, Corey said that he did not even know if he ever held a valid license. Y'all, how crazy is this? But we're going to go ahead and get into it. So let's go.
On behalf of Pittsfield Township.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present in Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So I'll just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Wait. You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks that the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And he didn't have a license.
That's what the charge is, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant has turned himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Which I will tell you, counsel, caused the court, given what the court did, to investigate what my movement was. And I will tell you that that assertion is absolutely incorrect with reference to any faulty information that either came through to the Pittsfield Township Department of Public Safety or to this court ultimately at the May 15th hearing. And I think it needs to be stated, I've been asked for comments, I have refrained from comments as I know what practice is. This court, with the pending case, will speak on the record. And so I am going to make sure that the record is very, very clear as to what this court knows and what this court acted on May 15th. And we can start with this, and my basis for doing it is because of what was said about what this whole process was. And that an indication, counsel, and I know, counsel, you've been before me.
Absolutely.
I know it is not coming from you, but you also know how I am.
I do.
And And the thing is that if for whatever reason, the one time in my life I was wrong, I will say it, and did. But when I'm not wrong, and when people are not to blame, then it also needs to be said. So I will try to get through this as quick as I possibly can. But I will tell you, first of all, with any reference to your client having had a license on that day, and some indication of misunderstanding as to whether or not he had a license, let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever. And has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up his grade. He has never had a license. In point of fact, when they suspended his license, and what people don't understand, when they suspended his license at Saginaw, they don't suspend the license, they suspend the privilege to drive in the state. Hence, for example, if he had had a Kentucky license, he would be able to drive everywhere that Kentucky would allow him to drive. He just couldn't drive in Michigan because his privileges had been restricted. I know you know that, but that wasn't at all said. But it doesn't matter because he didn't have a license, ever. There is also then, and I will, when it is necessary, come to the defense of my sister courts, and I will come to the defense of Saginaw. They've got a great chief judge. The chief judge answered the question. But I will tell you, that court and its friend at the court did nothing wrong. His license was, his driving privileges, better stated, were unsuspended in 2022. That required Mr. Harris to do something. He didn't do it. Therefore, the friend of the court was under no obligation to send anything to the Secretary of State. Now, I hated that I had to look at all of this, but when there's a question as to what I did, I'm going to look at everything to make sure that what I did was all in order. There's then an indication from that because that wasn't sent, there was a direct attack on Michigan's Department of Secretary of State's office, saying that the Secretary of State was somehow involved. Let me tell you something. The Secretary of State did what they were supposed to do. In point of fact, they did nothing because they hadn't gotten anything from the court because Mr. Harris had not paid their reinstatement. This week, or last week, once he paid that, Saginaw friend of the court did what they should do, and they sent it. Immediately, based upon the information that I have, the Secretary of State did what they do every day. They took that suspension off of his driving record, and he was then unsuspended. And then your client did what he needed